Good night to everyone, all of you. And let me say a special welcome to all of you and happy to see this great turnout. Let me recognize the Prime Minister who is here with us, who has made the effort to be here with us. Those of you who would have heard him would have realized he is here despite the flu and his voice being affected. Also to the Honorable Dr. Colin McIntyre, my colleague, and Honorable Justina Charles. I want to say good night to everyone as we call this meeting to order. We will start off with a prayer and by Earl White. Can you lead us in prayer, please? And while he's coming up, I also want to recognize the chairman of the Paix Bouche Village Council, Paix Bouche Dodan Village Council.
Good afternoon. Let's stand for prayer. Father Lord, we want to thank you for bringing us here this afternoon. Father Lord, we want to thank you for the traveling mercies that you have granted unto us, each and every one of us, especially the people at the table up front. Father Lord, we want to ask you if anybody is on their way that you hasten their footsteps and you also grant them traveling mercies. We want to ask that this meeting here this afternoon, Father Lord, is a productive and good one, Father Lord. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Earl. I now welcome to the podium Mr. Hubert Remy, the chairman of the Paix Bouche Dodan Village Council, to welcome everyone.
Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, Honorable Dr. Colin McIntyre, Minister of Planning, Economic Development, Honorable Justina Charles, Minister of Constituency, Employment and Sports, Honorable Rosalind Paul, Minister of Commerce, Small Business Enterprises, to you, the villagers of the community of Paix Bouche constituency. It's a pleasure to stand here before you this afternoon. I would like to welcome each and everyone to the most friendly and cultural diverse community of Paix Bouche. We look forward to a productive meeting and anticipate what is to come for this community. We expect full participation and cooperation from the general public. Once again, welcome to all.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and my partner, hard-working partner for development of this community, Mr. Hubert Remy. And I've already recognized those at the head table, but I'd like to say a special welcome to Miss Athenia Benjamin, who has joined us, and to thank her for the support. I'd also like to recognize the hardworking people of the media and also Charlie, who has been going around the island as well to ensure that people become aware of these town hall meetings and the information shared thereafter. The objective of this meeting, you would have heard that from February, the government, and in particularly the Labour Party government, decided to do a series of town hall meetings. This is with the view to keep the public, constituents, communities informed. And this is why we go from community to community, because every community has its own particular issues. So it is to inform and to also hear from you, the people, from you, the constituents. We believe, and you would note that always this government keeps in touch with people, because that is how we can respond effectively to your needs. And so, as I said, this series of meetings, it's twofold, and today is your day. And actually, I am elated to see the large turnout of adults and young people of the Paix Bouche community and a few from neighboring communities. It indicates your interest in your development. Village roads. Very shortly, there will be road rehabilitation of the lower section of Belmanier and Teplat. And actually, there's an approved sum of $107,000 that we would expect to reach the village council within the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that is to rehabilitate 700 feet of road. As we speak, the 107,000 is already on the system and should reach, as I say, the village council shortly. So all of the holes that I and others fall in when we drive from Belmanier to Teplat, this will be resolved. However, you would note that there's always water running through the road. This is because the pipes need the pipelines, they have done their time, and they need to be removed or changed. And today, as well, DOWASCO was doing the estimate so that before we do the roads in Belmanier, they're going to be changing the pipes. Also, some works to the tune of $22,000 is being done right at the top of Mopak in in the vicinity of Ken Bruni's, this corner there that has been very bad for a long time. Work is ongoing to the tune of $22,000. Further, the government has just launched a community road enhancement program. The Prime Minister has approved a number of roads across the country. And our submission for the Paix Bouche constituency was in excess of $2 million. However, a phased approach is being applied. And so $900,000 has been approved for the Paix Bouche constituency for the first phase of roads. And Paix Bouche community from this first phase of the $900,000 will benefit from $254,000, and that is for the first phase. Under this road enhancement program, we will seek to complete the Tiwavin Road, the Teplat Back Road, the completion of the Liviape Road and Wall, and upgrade the school road. If you know that we've left out anything for Paix Bouche community, please inform me. Repairs will also be undertaken shortly on the main road from Sus. And we cannot forget one of our main issues, making the community vulnerable and at risk to being cut off if not addressed, is the Zolivier area that was undermined by Tropical Storm Erica. And just after Tropical Storm Erica, very quickly, we were able to divert the water by building a drain behind Eric George and going towards the resource center through a natural ravine. And so we were able to divert this water, because had the water continued, that amount of water during rainfall going through Zolivier, it would have already gone, I would think. So we were able to spend first $28,000 and then another $12,000 to do this drain, so that it gave us also a chance to be able to do all of the preparatory works to address the major wall to be built in Zolivier. And I would just ask you to continue to bear patience, but already We have the designs and the preliminary estimates. I have the report right here on my desk of all the work that has to be done. But all of us do appreciate the extent of work to be done in Zolivier. It's no easy doing. Knowing the area, it is a difficult area, and we have to do it well and ensure effective use of resources. We can't go and do anything anyhow down there. We have to do it well. So soon we will get to finalizing the estimates and getting going with the Zolivier retaining wall. Our government continues to support education. And if we listen to the results earlier, CSEC results earlier, not this year, last year, we would have noticed that Dominica has made strides. In fact, Dominica was top in the OECS. And so all of these efforts that this government, and I will always emphasize this government, because it did not happen before, so it's not an entitlement. It's because it is a caring government that we continue to ensure support for students, support for education. Available schools doesn't mean access to schools. Many of us, when we were growing up, many children passed and never saw the doors of a secondary school. The school was there, but we couldn't go. And those of us who went, we went under serious duress, and it was much hardship on our parents. Some of us went to school, you would see the shoes looking very pretty at the top, but when it rained, it was a shoe for sun. So it was hard times. Some of us walked to school. Those of us, Mimi there, Miranda. I mean, we enjoy eating mangoes on the way, but many a times we walked from Paix Bouche to PSS, and from PSS to Paix Bouche. And some of us who took the transportation, often we would have to bow our heads in shame when the bus driver would say, "Tell your mother, send my money for me." You know? And this is no more. And it had to take this government to understand the plights and needs of people, particularly low-income people. And so government continues to provide support, school uniforms to assist low-income families, textbooks, transportation for all, blue, red, yellow, green, all children, transportation is provided for you at a serious cost to the government. And further, while the Dominica State College is really financed by the government, it's a state institution, the government goes further and provides tuition support for all students who need to go to the Dominica State College. No longer can we count on our hands one or two children from our community getting into a college, but every child who meets the requirement can go to the Dominica State College. And during summer, I had a series of meetings in all communities with parents, with students, just to hear their issues and to encourage them to do well. And based on one of the articulated needs, and based on my own experience going up and down Roseau, I know what the cost is. All of us as a government, and all of us encouraged by the Prime Minister, we understand that we need to put ourselves in the place of ordinary people. And so $22,000 in the first instance was made available to help 49 students within the Paix Bouche constituency to meet their transportation, or to subsidize their transportation costs. And so every child gets about $450 per semester, and it's given $150 over 3 months to aid them in going to school to meet their transportation costs. So there's no reason at all that any child should do badly at school, or any child should be left out at school. Once the students are committed and do the hard work that it requires, and the parents are fully behind them with the necessary support and guidance. So our children in Paix Bouche and the constituency should do very well. There's no reason not to. And while the demands for tertiary education is very high for going to universities overseas and some doing online programs, it's very competitive because the Ministry of Education and the Prime Minister, I know, always have excess applications to deal with. But we are grateful that within the last 2 years, there are about 8 students from this constituency at a university and being supported financially or with a scholarship from the government, the Dominica Labour Party government. We now speak to the issue, I now speak to the issue of the irregular water supply. We know that Mopac, you sometimes suffer with unreliable supply, and based on assessment, it is because I am told of the tank. The tank actually needs some work and the system needs improving. And I have with me, I do have with me so I have since written to the WASCO and had a meeting with the manager of the WASCO and have the response right here regarding the Paix Bouche water system. And here, 2 solutions have been proposed. One, short term. So in the short term, the WASCO is going to spend $98,000 to rehabilitate the storage tank to a tune of $98,000. My discussion with the manager indicated to me that these works, they are preparing to undertake these works. And while they do that, I've been discussing with the Prime Minister the second action to be taken, which is to upgrade the Paix Bouche water system to a tune of $1.2 million. And the Prime Minister has given his commitment, so the WASCO will be doing all the paperwork for submission so that we can address this issue by the end of 2017. Sorry, what did I say? $1.2 million, sorry. That's an error, yes. 1.2, that's a lot of money, but again, we know that this government places high priority on the health and well-being of its people. A caring government, we all know that, time and time again. Every day, this is proven. The 57, when we think of the non-contributory pension, that is the 70 plus, once you become your birthday riches and you are 70, you fill out this little yellow form, and within a few weeks, you are entitled, you receive your $300 monthly. 57 villagers receive $300 monthly. Add $300 or multiply 300 times 57. So every month, the Paix Bouche Village Council receives $13,000. So for the year, it's 13,000 times 12. And there are some whose money comes straight to their account through the Social Security as well. Because the government started with 200 and now everybody receives $300. And while it is the 70 plus who receive the $300, I think all of us benefit from it because it reduces the burden on those of us who would have to take care of this 70 plus. So right now, our 70 plus years old can pay their little light bill, can pay their little water bill, can buy their little medicine, and we would have to provide this $300. We can now use it for another need, either for this very person, this very mother or auntie that we have, or for ourselves. So in that way, everybody does benefit from the 70+ pension, the $300 that we are giving to these people who work so hard. Some in the garden, some on the road, to ensure that we have been able to enjoy a better society today. So it is very fitting, and it had to come from the heart of this Prime Minister that we have to see that these people were in need of this support. We also, as you know, when these people go to the hospital, it is free medical care, as well as those below 18. It's also free medical care at the hospital. And in Paix Bouche, we have been able to increase, so we had 2 caregivers on the Yes We Care to provide care for the sick and short-in at home. But through the National Employment Program, I have been able to add 4 more persons to provide care for our elderly people in Paix Bouche. Again, as you would have heard, the government of Dominica is going on a pit elimination drive. And it is costing the government millions of dollars, because each washroom to be constructed in this country costs approximately $11,000. And in Paix Bouche, actually in our constituency, we have quite a lot of washrooms to be built. I built a first 15 in Calibishi, and we have 119 more to do. 50 washrooms were just approved for Calibishi. And for Paix Bouche, we have the Prime Minister has also just approved 19 washrooms to be built. So far, we have already built 9 washrooms. Some are missing a little bits and pieces. 3 are in progress to be completed. And as I said, 19 more approved at a approximate cost of $11,000 per washroom. So do the calculation and you realize how much investment this is. Housing continues, and under the Constituency Empowerment Program, resources made available, I was able to assist a few people, 29 persons within the constituency, with some housing assistance. I know the requests and the needs, it's much more, but we focus on leaking roof, particularly for the senior people. As I go around, you would see people shorting right over their bed. They can't really even move, but above their bed, it's leaking. So I focus on some more of the senior people with leaking roof for the time being, and a few single mothers. So a few people from Paix Bouche have benefited. But we are currently doing our assessments, meeting with the people, reaching out to see what your housing needs are, and to collate all of this information with a view to providing you with some assistance. But all cannot be done at any one time. It has to be on a phased basis. And so if your neighbor gets, then most likely your turn is next. Further, the Prime Minister has just approved, as we go around, we know Paix Bouche, in terms of housing, we are advanced more than several communities, but there's still some among us who live in substandard homes or who are really in need of a home. They may be working or doing some part-time work, but based on their income, they may never be able to build a home on their own. And so the Prime Minister has approved 13 houses, full houses, to be built. Currently, there are 3 houses being built in our constituency for people most in need. Single mothers with small children, people who are sick but do not have a home. Those are the kind of people. So we start off with people like that. But we will assist you as much. Once you are in need, and the government has the available resources, we will assist you. And we know that a common question is the question of village extension. We know there are young people, among us who are working and who would want to own their own home. And you would know that we have surveyed the land at Boamo Park. We have the land plan, and we have had some consultation with people who already occupy the land from Paix and Paix Bouche. And this proposed village extension is to benefit the people from Paix Bouche, Mopac, environs, and Paix. So we are, upon the directives of the Prime Minister, I have written to the Minister of Housing and Lands to have the estimates done for the roads, the lights, the water to be done in the Boamo Park area. And even while this is being done, even from tomorrow, there'll be applications at the Paix Bouche Resource Center for those interested, and at Thibault as well for those interested in applying for a lot. Or in applying, it's in 2 parts. There's also arable, agricultural land as well. So you have some for housing, nice, flat, beautiful area, and some for agriculture. So by 2017, we should be able to begin to see some works in Boamo Park in terms of the infrastructure. The National Employment Program. The National Employment Program, as in many communities, has been benefiting Paix Bouche significantly. We think of when you drive through Mopac, how do you feel? When you drive through the community, the beauty and cleanliness of the community is striking. And this is only made possible because we have a hard-working team of people under the National Employment Program, keeping Paix Bouche and Dodan clean. Dodan and Paix Bouche has the same village council, so Dodan is also part of our community beautification and cleanup program. So overall, we have 37 persons of Paix Bouche engaged under the National Employment Program, and 103 within the constituency, a total of 103. So Paix Bouche has 37 of these 103 engaged in, as I said, community beautification and cleanup, care providers providing care for the elderly, the sick, the shut-in. In terms of community development project, as support and liaison officers, there's a mentorship program, and also at the start of the school year, we started an after-school program. This came about because as a follow-up action to the discussions we had with parents, students, and some concerned teachers like Cassandra and Miss Bonnie, who came to me and expressed concern about the performance of our students. And while we know it's the responsibility of parents to have their children do their homework, but we are also aware that not every time the parents can help the children, have the ability or the capacity to help the children with the homework and their other assignments and projects. And so we instituted, through the National Employment Program, an after-school program. And from all reports, it has been going very well under the leadership of Natalie Farrell and a few young persons at the Resource Center. It's also going on, just started in Benz and Zime as well. Sports. Paix Bouche is well known for sports. Every day I wake up, I hear Rockers Domino Club, Rockers Domino Club. And I continue to support the Rockers Domino Club. We have an annual league. And we are also known, we've held the championship for basketball in Paix Bouche a few times. Almost every young man in Paix Bouche plays basketball. And that is very important in ensuring that they engage in positive activities. So we have 2 basketball teams, and the Eagles has been in existence, I think, for over 17 years. And you also have the Snipers. And every year they are involved in basketball. And every day you pass down there on the hard court, you meet young men playing basketball, using their energies positively. And so the government, we started off on a program of enhancing the basketball courts. We spent in excess of $50,000 to fence it and to build a retaining wall. Unfortunately, a small part of the wall was affected during as we speak, from November, funding was provided to assist the sports club and the basketballers to modernize the surface of the courts. So they are working towards it. They are importing what they need to do it. So the next time we have a league, we will be able to play on a red and green, red and blue, well-modernized hard courts. And we know, I am aware, based on our last meeting last week, I am aware that we may need some additional funding, but I've advised that they start doing the work and we will seek to find the resources. I know the Prime Minister is always willing to assist, and particularly he has young people close to his heart and likes to ensure that they can be positively engaged. So we'll approach the Prime Minister for a little more resources, but we'll start with what we have. I was elated to hear that today our school children were able to participate in Schools Arts Festival. Together for them. And it came a little late, but I have been able to source a sponsorship because they had to borrow drums, but they'll be able to have their own drums from next week as soon as the people can make it, because they have a contribution of $1,600 to get this week towards making their own drums. So you know I have always been in the culture, born in it, raised in it, still in it, and culture is dear to my heart. So when I heard these young people, when Rasmo called me, I tried to seek sponsorship for these young people to encourage them, because for all my life, it has been about preserving and promoting our cultural heritage. Agriculture, the people working in Mamiton, you'll be pleased to know that $24,400,000 has been approved to do repairs on the Mamiton Road. And Dewivia, we have Dewivia and the Beauplan Road. We have the challenge there. You know, the bridge was washed down, and we have river dredging. So an estimated cost of $110,000 is to be used to dredge the river in the Beauplan area so that it does not cause erosion of agricultural lands and people who have the plots further down. So the river dredging has to take place, and the Public Works Department has assessed that as costing $110,000. And in addition, the designs are ready for the river crossings in Beauplan, and they are working on the estimates. So I implore the farmers to just be patient, and we will do your work for you. we always support agriculture in Paix Bouche. I work very closely with all of the farmers group in the constituency. Last I heard, Calibishi is now 167. Further to enhance and to push them forward. And we continue, over the years, we continue to provide fertilizer support for farmers, and this will continue. We know the costs of production for agriculture, and we continue to support. At a Dodan town hall meeting similar to this, it was brought to our attention, I was there with the Honorable Ian Douglas, that the Dodan Health Center, where we were having the meeting, has some issues, needs upgrade very shortly. And I was very happy to realize that this was put in, and the public works people are working on addressing this issue, and the Ministry of Health is working to address this issue. So Nurse Miranda Paul and all of us, we will be happy to know that some work is going to take place to enhance the Dodan Health Center and its environs. Now, about 2 weeks ago, 103 small enterprises of Paix Bouche and Dodan benefited from a little over $400,000 for small business development. And the process was this: announcements were made to have people come in. I said, all who have business interests, you are invited to a meeting to dialogue with us. And the meeting, it was a good turnout, but I never realized how many business people existed in Paix Bouche and Dodan. And we were very happy to help all of this, and all of them had some. It was for existing businesses, and it was for also those with a business idea that is viable, and we are willing, with the support of my ministry, to assist these people with this business idea, because the program is directed at assisting entrepreneurs to be more stable, providing those who are unable to face the bank with a little grant support, allowing you to employ yourself and to employ others. And through this employment and generation of income that you can rise, those of you living at low income status can rise to a higher level. And so the business ideas, all of the people who submitted, I saw some very good ideas. Actually, there were those for poultry and livestock, and we know that there's an abattoir in Dominica, so I was happy to support that so that young people can get into meat production and supply the abattoir. There were those for sound system, there was those for shops, so the businesses went across sectors. No longer should we think that a business is a shop or a bar or a restaurant. You can have business, and many women have cottage industries. We have sewing and all of those. They have business right at their home. And so we were able to support. We could not give everything that you asked for, but I would think that you are counting your blessings. You need to count the small blessings and the small mercies. And that is the first step of success, is to count your blessings. Appreciate what you get and make the best use of it, maximize it. Because it's not the amount. I stand proud when I see Dionic St. John, a young man who came to me last year, and we were able to assist him. You may think it is with big money, just a little sum. He was able to buy his molds and so, and Dionic is doing well and going places. So it is not the amount, but it's how you use it, and we are there for technical support, technical advice, pushing you, holding your hands, helping you, and getting you to make it. So Dionic, I suspect, soon from now will you employ others. And so that is the idea. And Dionic is just one of those who benefited, one of the 21 from Paix Bouche who benefited directly through the ministry. So in addition to the $400,000 that was disbursed 2 weeks ago, 21 people from Paix Bouche have benefited from the ministry to a tune of $137,000. And so I would just urge you to continue to support the work of this government, because you will realize that everything the government does is to make the quality, is to improve the quality of life of people through its social and economic programs. And much of the social and economic programs have been realized because we were able to rebrand and account for every dollar made by the Citizenship by Investment program and be able to utilize it to improve the quality of life, but also to invest it in sustainable type activities, to put you on your feet, to put your neighbor on his feet, to put your auntie on her feet, so that you can help yourselves, help your community, and help your country. And so I would ask you to support us, spread the word, defend the Citizenship by Investment program, because when you defend it, you are defending the National Employment Program, you are defending the Yes We Care program, you are defending the Enterprise Development Program, and you are defending your livelihood and the betterment of your community and country. And so, and therefore, with these words, I will stop here, and the discussion will continue, because as you would notice, we have 2 ministers and the Honorable Prime Minister to address you. The interest of this lady in being here and addressing you. So let's give her a listening ear.
Thank you very much, my sister and friend. Let me say and recognize the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, Honorable Dr. Colin McIntyre, Honorable Rosalind Paul, your dear pal rep, Athenia, who is there to give us support, the chair of the Village Council. I want to also recognize the dear people of Paix Bouche, and if we have from the environs. I want to say it's a pleasure to be in Paix Bouche. Really a pleasure to be here with you tonight. As Honorable Paul said, I mean, when she asked me, I could not have hesitated, because I know I must stand with my sister along the way. And I want to say, the Labour Party people, we work as a family. We give support to one another, okay? But I want to start by saying I'm really impressed with the turnout here tonight and the level of enthusiasm I am seeing in the crowd. I am really impressed. It speaks to the level of satisfaction with the work that your pal rep has been doing. It speaks to the relationship that you have with your parliamentary representative, and I really want to commend you for that. Over the past 2 years or so since, I knew Rosalind, and Rosalind got involved in politics, I want to say to you, from working with her, I knew her, but not as well as I know her now. But from working with her over the past 2 years, I can say to you, you have a very effective and efficient parliamentary representative. Honorable Paul comes into the politics with the same level of enthusiasm that Mr. Walters had for you. And she's a hard-working parliamentary representative. She is very focused and understands what her people want, and I can say to you, she asserts herself when she makes her request. And she will not relent until she gets it. So I really want to commend your parliamentary representative for the tremendous work that she has been doing and she was able to do over the past few years. And I can tell you, if you continue to give her the level of support that you are demonstrating tonight, we can see good things happening in this constituency, more good things. But when I walked in this evening, I said, but what? Honorable Paul planned the meeting for me, man, because I saw so many young faces. I mean, everybody looking young, but I see youth too among. So I said, but she planned the meeting for me, man. Or she tell the youth, make sure you are there, the Minister of Youth is coming. But I'm happy to be among young people. Just as I said this morning when I addressed the young people at the Arts Festival. And again, I want to join her in commending your young schools, your young students in the tremendous display of drumming this morning at the Arawak House of Culture. Now, I will speak to, because I saw the youth, you saw I sat and I scribbled and I said, you know what, I have to change my focus. And so I want to just join her in echoing some calls to the young people. We must always ask ourselves, when we talk about youth and governance and how does government work with young people, we have to ask ourselves, look at the programs that the government offers as it relates to our young people, and see whether they are relevant to empowering our young people. Every time I speak to young people, I say to them, the best thing any government can give to any young person is an education. And your dear Prime Minister, our dear Prime Minister, probably from experience, and all of us as members of Parliament, because we were not as we are now. We all went through the grinds of education. It was not an easy road. But our students now have it plenty easier and better than we had it. A lot easier. But that is the best tool any government can give to young people. And when you think of education, the Minister of Education is not there, so I will expound a little. When you think of all of what we do in education in relation to books, uniforms, transportation, assistance with tuition, extra classes for your students, ensuring that we can promote and encourage at least one graduate in every home, one university graduate in every home, students have access to the state college. Tell me what else a government can do for the young people in relation to education. As I said before, we and all of those that are my age and older than me, we never had that opportunity. And we wish we had it, because probably we would have done better than we did in those days. So I think the young people, there's a lot going for you. And even if the parents must also understand that. So I speak to the parents. But although we do that, we still did not just stop at education. We continue to provide opportunities for skills development. We know we do not have a skills training center in your area, but accommodation is made for you in Portsmouth, and that is where I know the young men and women from Paix Bouche go to do their skills program. And even so, understanding the challenge to get from Paix Bouche to Portsmouth, the youth division, through resources provided by government, assist with a little stipend that helps them sometimes with their little transportation, and sometimes they can take it to make a little breakfast if things are a little tight at home, to make sure that they can access the classes. We continue. So I know in Portsmouth, I remember the last time they had open day, I went there, and we saw the tremendous work that they did in electricity, in plumbing, on display. Those things were out there, and they were there as students explaining to you all the processes in doing the electrification of your house and plumbing at the homes. So they are quite knowledgeable at the end of that. All they need is the support and the experience so that they can grow in the skill that they learned. Now we also have the Dominica Youth Business Trust. And it's my understanding that there are some young people, I think there are recently as many as 3 people benefited in the Dominica Youth Business Trust, where they come up with their idea and you are helped, you are assisted with developing your plan. After that, you are helped in accessing funds to develop your business. Because we know, and we as government, we understand, when I became the minister responsible for youth, at that time, we were only, government was only, through the Youth Business Trust, was only guaranteeing 75% of the loan. So money was placed at the bank where these young people can access the money so that they can do their little spending to ensure that they can get their business running. But we know, without somebody to guarantee that loan for you, our young people are not going to go far. Because they haven't got a bank account. They haven't got a certificate of title. Probably their mommy and their daddy does not have that either to give it. Or if you have it, it is tied somewhere else that you cannot send it out there. You don't have, nobody's going to come and sign a loan for you. Nobody's going to come and sign a loan. So the Prime Minister, in his wisdom again, said, you know what, nurse? I think we need to increase that guarantee on the loan for the young people. Because that cry where, you know, I still have to be able to try to access the other 25% and I'm having a challenge. So we decided, you know what? Let us guarantee the full loan. So even recently, as recent as February, early February, an additional $1 million was approved by the Minister of Finance to assist in that regard. So we can guarantee the loan. So when we guarantee the loan, nobody's going to tell you get a certificate of title because that money is there in the event. But we still encourage them, do your best and do well in your business and continue to pay your little loan. But they can access the funds. And I know we have people in Paix Bouche who have benefited from that program. Your panel spoke highly of your national employment and the amount of young people that are engaged under the national employment program. That is also another opportunity for our young people. We hear people cry, oh, our young people are unemployed, there is no opportunity for them. Granted, some people left school, they left college, they left university, and they are there and have not been able to get a job. That was opening an opportunity for them when that program started. And so we created an opportunity where they could gain some experience, because very often when you apply young people, you know that, they want you to say how much experience you had. And, oh, I would have taken you, but I need somebody with experience. So you are set on aside. You cannot work because you haven't got experience. So that was an opportunity to allow you to gain experience on the job, to work in the field that you are interested in, and to be able to earn some money. So that was the reason behind all of that. Some of our young people have done so well that they have been absorbed into full-time employment in some of the places where they were attached. That was the opportunity for them, the opening for them to be engaged. So I want to say, as I speak to the NEP, I want our young people to take it seriously. I know, for example, not in my constituency, but in my neighboring constituency, one father called me and he said, nurse, my daughter is there and she's not doing anything. She graduated from college. I was able to work with then it was, I think, Honorable Dr. McIntyre, who was the minister. She got employed under the NEP at the National Bank of Dominica. Soon after the National Bank of Dominica, two businesses and one was closed, and so they only have one area operating from in Roseau. So they were supposed to lay out. But they could not lay her out because she went there and she demonstrated to them she has the ability and she can work. And so now she is fully employed as a person at the National Bank of Dominica. So it means when you get the opportunity, make good use of it. go out there and do your best. As government, we can create the opportunities for you, but we cannot hold it for you. We expect when we put you there, you go out there and you say, you know what? I am not going to embarrass my pal rep. I am going to shine. I am not going to embarrass the government that created the opportunity for me. I am going to shine and be productive in the area that I am. So it's an opportunity for young people. So sometimes it hurts me when I hear, oh, nothing has been done for the young people. The young people just astray. The young people just astray. But look at the opportunities. Are you availing yourself to take advantage of them? Now the thing is, we did not just say people coming from university and college. We came in the community, identify areas where we can engage them, some who did not have the opportunity to go to college and to be qualified for those what we would consider white-collar jobs. So we come down to the grassroots area and we say, you know what? There are some people we can engage. Let's engage them in cleaning. Let's engage them cooking at the school. Let's engage them in a shop somewhere. Somebody is doing joinery. Let's put 2 people there with them to work. So we engage people at the local level. How much more can we as a government do? I think it is the responsibility of the young people to embrace the opportunity. And as parents, as grannies, as aunts, we have to encourage them because it is there. I always say no government can employ everybody. None. Not across the globe. And we know of all the people who are in America, all of our relatives who are in America that probably cannot send much money for us because they were employed at that time when they were sending. Now they are not employed. Or if they're employed for 3 days instead of 5 days. So the amount of money that they will earn is less. So they send less for you. So never let people fool you and let you think it is in Dominica only. It is across the globe. So that is why our young people have to develop that entrepreneurial spirit and decide, you know what? Let me start my business. I learn a skill. Let me work on it. Let me be able to work on my own. And eventually I can employ other people to work with me. That is the way forward. You cannot just sit and expect government to absorb everybody. It's not going to work. It will not work. It cannot happen. Okay? So I want to just exhort our young people. Your pal rep spoke to sports. I know basketball is one of your most popular games among the young people. And as she said, you've won the championship many times. And as the Minister of Sports, from time to time, I go to as often as I can, I go to function. Not from time to time, but maybe not out in the communities, as often as I would have liked to. But I am aware of your engagement in basketball and other sports. And that is why, as the ministry, we will continue to give the support. And I know through constituency empowerment, she has provided some level of finance to begin some work in resurfacing, as she said, and some money was spent on fencing the facility. But I also want to call on the users of those facilities to claim ownership of those facilities. When it is given to you, we should not expect the Minister of Sports and the PAL rep to come and clean the little grass around the basketball court. When the PAL rep fence the place for you, we cannot as young people go there and play and swing on the fence and bring it down. We fence it to protect you. When you bring it down, it means, therefore, if your PAL rep has to get money to put into something else, she has to say, you know what, for the safety and security of the students, of the young people, I have to fence it again. That is money she would probably put in something else. So we have to take responsibility for what is given to us in the constituencies. In relation to culture, I want to commend the Paix Bouche Cultural Group. I think it was the Paix Bouche Cultural Group that did the CD. Right. Oh, how many CDs? I think I probably have 2 or 3 of them. Sometimes they just disappear from my house because they are so hot, and I always have them on my vehicle. And if you follow me around Independence when I travel. That's the only CD I play. This one and the one from Point Michelle. And that is why I love, Michael Farrell also has some nice songs. And I know inside of Paix Bouche, there is rich culture. And that is why we again will continue to work with you. Because recently, in fact, the ministry, the Department of Culture, just concluded some drumming programs in the school for the students. And did so well this morning. So we will continue as the cultural division to go out there and work with the students to make sure that that culture can be preserved, like the cultural group continuing to do for us. Preserve and promote what is ours, our culture. Because it helps us to identify who we are as a people. It helps to unite us. It helps to make us socialize. It helps our children to grow with a better sense of moral, of esteem, high esteem. So we have to encourage them in those activities. Too often we just think, it's go to school, do your English, do your maths, do your science, your geography and thing, and that's it. No, we have to engage them in other extracurricular activities so they can develop holistically and not just in one area. So I really want to commend the cultural group and say that we will continue to work with you. As the minister responsible for constituency empowerment, I can say to you, your minister has done quite a bit. From my records in the ministry, she has done quite a bit on the constituency empowerment, and she highlighted quite a few of them, so I will not go into them. Housing and roads, and in fact, recently the Prime Minister approved some monies for roads, because we know the Prime Minister has now told us, and we have a decision to launch a road enhancement program. And your PAL rep has been able to secure in excess of $900,000. So that will be coming into the constituency to improve your roads. And I like to say, when those things happen, we must not say, oh, well, say bus drivers, like, no, all of us benefit. Because if the road has a hole, and sometimes they try to wave it, in waving it, they might knock you walking on the road. So if it is good, they will maintain their side. They wouldn't have to wave the holes. And when you take the ride on the bus, you don't have to say, we bonje, you want one or two. So you drive more comfortably. The ambulance, the bus driver will not say, me, I ain't coming up there, I know that road too bad. Your road is improved, they will take you to your doorstep. You see? If your son has a bus, your husband has a bus, he's not going to change as many tires as possible. So there will be less wear and tear on his vehicle. So he might be able to leave more money into the house, you know. So I know there is not one social program, regardless to what program that this government instituted, that has not touched the life of everybody, directly or indirectly. So you must think of it. Your pal rep spoke to say many things that I will not go back into, the yes we care and all of those things that we do, which ease up the pressure on our family members. But as I end, I want to end just like her. You have to ask, where do we, but we're honorable scared with getting all that money, no much. Right? We just hearing money coming, and we just sit in our constituency and we just hearing money coming, and we just, you know, we're not bothered as to where the money coming from. We have to be concerned about where the money coming from and how the money gets there. Because if it stops coming, those things will not come to meet you. So all of those funds are through the CBI program. And that is why I want to join your PAL rep in asking all of us across Dominica to stand up in defense of the CBI program. A program that many other countries cherish, and wish they had the level of the way in which Dominica is managed, wish they were able to reach that point where we are now. But you have a few detractors outside there that making you believe that it is something wrong that is happening. But I want to say to you, you have to, just as we remain focused, you need to remain focused. Do not allow them to distract you. We know what we stand for. We know what we are working towards, and we have to work and accomplish it. no more. And so they do not want to wait because they are afraid they will be buried by then. So that is why they want to come, no one to touch it and play it. So that is why you have to stand in support of what is happening in your country now. So I just really want to thank you for the level of support that you continue to show. I want to say to you, continue to remain focused. May God bless us and count your blessing because He's blessing us. He is blessing us day and night. He continues to bless all of you here, your families, your pal rep, the government of Dominica, so that we can continue the work that we have started. Thank you very much.
That's a nice one. Okay, back to the chair. Thank you very much, for, nurse, for, I always can just remain and listen to nurse for a while, so no wonder I sat there still. Yes, so let's put our hands together again for Nurse Charles. And her encouraging words to the young people. This is something I want to do too, is to work more closely with the young people. But young people, please come out. Give the little gadget a little break. The world exists beyond that. So when I call you next time, well, last summer we had some very good turnout with the young people, and I have a youth summer day. Every day I put one summer day aside to interact with the youth, inform them, speak to them, and so. And our youth summer day program is usually very good. But apart from that, I want them to come out otherwise and get informed and volunteer and those things. So look out for me and come next time when I call you, all of the young people. We will now have the Honorable Dr. Mark, again coming all the way from Trafalgar. I took the people from the south this time to be here and to have him speak to you. So put your hands together to welcome Dr. Mark.
Good night. Okay, and thank you very much, Madam Chair, of course, your pal rep, and my sister minister along with us in the cabinet. Let me first of all recognize the presence of the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, and of course, Honorable Justina Charles, another sister of ours, mine as well, in the cabinet of Dominica. Of course, Sister Afinia is here with us as well tonight, the chairman of the village council, nice. And of course, the young man who invited the divine presence here tonight. To you, the villagers of Paix Bouche and surrounding villages, my good friend here from the Development of Atlantic, and of course, the chairman of the Aid Bank as well here, because I want to discuss some agriculture with you here. No, very serious about that. I'm happy I see the chairman here tonight because I'm sure he'll be knocking on his doors. Very important. But good night to you all, and certainly a pleasure to be here. I see an active crowd here tonight, a very active crowd. I'm very happy. It gives you energy to speak here tonight. And also what's very interesting here for me tonight as well too, is to see mothers with their young children here. Very important. We won't keep you very late because the kids have to sleep, but it's very important to see the mothers carrying their children with them and not saying I'm staying home tonight because I have my child. No. We have to marry the both of them, and that's very good. Okay? Tonight, I want to discuss a few things with you in terms of sharing some of the thoughts with you tonight on the continuation of our town hall meetings. I'm very happy to be in Paix Bouche, of course, all the way from the Roseau Valley constituency, but happy to be here. What I want to start with tonight is the CBI program. As you know, I am part of the CBI committee, ministerial committee, and we're the ones developing and approving the development programs, projects. And I must say to you that you are very fortunate in that you are located in a very important part of Dominica, from the point of view that As we speak, there's a range project, which is a brand of hotels that's being built right in Portsmouth, which is very close to you. And you may want to say why it's so important to you. It's important to you because of the service industry, because of the construction industry, management. A lot of our young people here, you see, gone are the days when in Dominica, we depend on a number of different things. We don't depend only on the CBI program, but the CBI program happened to be a very important revenue generating sector for Dominica right now. But for you here, in terms of the service industry, a lot of our young people here who ordinarily would have been involved in agriculture only because of the days of agriculture, and I'm not putting on agriculture at all because I'm very strong in it, I'm going to come to agriculture. But for you, it's important that you embrace the opportunities that exist, both in terms of the service industry in range, the workers that are going to be required for it. A lot of our people have left, they have gone away in the past. But now we're seeing a reverse where these projects are right here with us in Dominica. You have a range in Portsmouth. You have the Silver Beach project as well, which is going to be in the Coconut Beach area, about to commence as well too. This one is going to be a similar type of program in terms of development. So when you look at range, when you look at the Moroccan funded hotel, the Moroccans are here right now looking at the finishing touches to that hotel. When you look at range, the Moroccan funded hotel, Silver Beach, my biggest fear, to be honest with you, is I wonder if we'll have enough people who can fit into the employment there. It's a lot for Dominica one time, but we're not stopping, we're going ahead of it. So people, I want you to understand, from an agricultural point of view, it's also very important who are going to visit us. They're going to need it. So the importance of agriculture is important. Now the CBI program, there are two different types of programs under the CBI program. There's one referred to as the real estate option, where someone pays into the real estate option. That money goes into a special escrow account. An escrow account is an account put aside here, both by the government of Dominica signatories and the developer, and that money is used solely for the development of the hotel. Of course, there are various funds related and fees related to it, including like the due diligence. Here. I'm sure you would have heard about due diligence. And due diligence, what it means to us is, and to the project is, someone applies to be a citizen of Dominica. Okay? There are a number of homeless people, stateless people around the world. And I mentioned before, they are law-abiding, good people. People with families just like us here, who are stateless, no papers, no documents, they cannot travel. But here it is that countries like the United States of America, the UK, the OECS, Cyprus, Malta, and a lot of these countries, they offer the opportunity for people who are stateless, okay? The US is involved in it, the UK is involved in it, a lot of these big countries, but Dominica, we have one too. And these people get an opportunity to be able to invest in your country, obtain the necessary documents where they can move around the world. We understand that clearly? Right. And I'll come to it in terms of the opposition strategy as well, to which you must understand. However, so we offer these programs. There's due diligence now, whereas somebody applies to be a citizen and they want to invest in your country. What you do, you take the names and you submit it to special agencies, one being Bishop's Services and a number of others, where they carry out an international global check on that person and his family. They look at all your transactions, who you have been affiliated with, how you bank, your type of business, and any area that's lacking there or shows any sort of red flag, it's a no-no. We carry out a very serious one in Dominica. This is why our program in Dominica has captured 75% of the market in the OECS. We are number one in the OECS in the CBI program, Dominica. And it is purely due to the fact that we have carried out a clean, strong, and rigid program, which has, met the test and is moving well for us. Now, we happen to be the envy of a lot of the OECS countries. I'm not going to come here and speak about our OECS brothers and sisters, but we must understand that, okay? So now there's also what you call the cash option, where you pay directly into a fund. That fund goes into the government. That's the government itself. This is not for a project itself. This is for the government. Various things in terms of You know, we can look at the agriculture, tourism, you know, various programs we are investing in using CBI funds, okay? Now, of course, there are various other fees that you pay in terms of the size of your family, number of, you know, children and whatnot, and we have just amended it recently in terms of the age and whatnot, okay? I won't bore you too much with the details of that, but just for you to understand, the reason why we have a lot of criticism right now on this government, and in particular, our Prime Minister, is purely because he has been able to master this program, bring it up to the level where it should be right now, to take Dominica to that level where we can run this program. So hear what's happening. They cannot wait for 5 years. They cannot wait for 5 years because there's no way that they're going to win an election through the ballot box. So what they have decided to do is try to destabilize this country. And that is why most of this criticism is leveled at the CBI program. It is leveled at the CBI program because they want to kill it. And you know, last time I mentioned about a suicide bomber. He comes out there to kill himself, but to kill you. But he dies in the process. This is how foolish Lennox Linton is right now. And he's trying to sell this country for a few pieces of silver, I would say, dangling in his eyes there, because he has to be paid for his mouth all the time. And he needs money. So let's be honest, if I give you a few pieces of silver that I can use to pay for and he just had the last one, as you know, that he can pay for something there, then he will go for something very small. And I want us to be very careful about what I refer to as allowing foreign people to come into Dominica to try to take our program. We as a nation, we have built our program. We have a lot of local agents marketing the program. They're benefiting from it. But here it is, you have a man who wants to take down this country, take down the program, and give it out to a company now who wants to come into Dominica and do it for themselves only as a foreign company. We're not going to stand for that. No, not at all. So people understand, I don't want to spend the whole night on CBI because I want to talk about other things, but I want to make sure I introduce that point here tonight. The reason why all this sort of criticism is leveled on the government is to try to kill the program, and in killing the program, you can get this government out. But not through the ballot box. It's through destabilization, try to burn Rosa recently. After all, man, after all, we can no longer at this country at all. And you have to stand firm, and you have to prevent that from happening. So this is why we are here tonight, to bring out the facts to you, because they still continue to level shots at our Prime Minister. And if you don't know, not you, because you don't listen, but the people don't know, they tend to think maybe that's true. This is pure lies about the Prime Minister. And you have to defend this government, and you have to defend the head. Because the aim is to try to kill the head, hoping that the body will die. But no, the head will not die. And you have to make sure that the head doesn't die. Okay. My dear people, now in terms of agriculture, traditionally we have been very strong in agriculture. Very strong, Paix Bouche and the surroundings. Right now, under the same CBI program, the funds from it, we have placed $10 million into the aid bank at concessionary rates, 3%, 6 months grace period for lending to our farmers. Don't feel frightened about it. Take advantage of it. Go inside and say, but I don't have this security, I don't have this. This is your government. Your government has placed money in the aid bank for you. $10 million, 3%, 6 months grace period. Take whatever amount you think that's comfortable for you for your development, and let us produce such that we can look at the hotel developments and we can feed ourselves and we can market some of it. Dominica, we still happen to be the leading country in the OECS in terms of agriculture. I was in St. Kitts about three weeks ago, representing the Prime Minister on one meeting. He came in after. And while sitting at lunch, this is a true story. The lady I was discussing with on the table, two of them, first of all, I must share with you what they told me about Lennox Linton. They said that brazen, bold fellow you have in Dominica there, let him know that it's not only affecting Dominica, it's affecting the whole region. And they were angry about it. They were very angry about it. And then she said to me, one thing I must admit, on a Monday we must wait, and we're happy when the Dominican boats come with your agricultural produce to feed them. And they were very happy about that. And you have an opportunity whereby in Dominica, we have what's referred to as food security. You go down by your neighbor, you get a breadfruit, a dashin, a tania, anything you think of. Dominica has that sort of togetherness in it, so we can feed ourselves. But not every single country in the OECS has that option. They cannot. What I'd like to urge you to do is to take advantage of the resources at the aid bank. Let us look at improving more on our livestock production, both in terms of eggs, poultry, pigs, small ruminants, so we can increase on the protein aspect of our feed to try to balance our ration, our food. We understand that? We are very good at producing the carbohydrates, meaning dashin, yampe, tania, the starches. But we have to bring up the protein aspect of it. Your eggs, your fish, we get fish down there. Your small ruminants, like sheep and goat, poultry, pork, so we can get a balanced nutrition for our people in Dominica. We understand that? Lovely. Now, in tourism, for example, again, we have another facility at the aid bank, through funds from the CBI program. And what this government is doing is we're targeting the areas of growth. And we're taking that CBI money and we're putting it in areas that we are put for potential growth. And we're placing another $15 million in there for lending to your small hotels, people with restaurants, little, special cookery type programs where you can go to the aid bank, you can take your small loan there, again 3% this time 1 year grace period. That's a great opportunity. Do not be shy about that. This is money for you. Take advantage of it. Don't be afraid. This is not money in the commercial banks where they're going to ask you for all. I'm not saying that you should honor your little relationship with the bank, don't misunderstand me. Why? Let's do that. Okay, so these are two facilities already available. We are looking at a third facility. The Prime Minister may speak about it. We're looking at those of you in terms of manufacturing, those your small cottage industries where you can go out there and you can get resources. Even from your PAL rep who spoke heavily about small business, and you're blessed to have a PAL rep like Honorable Paul. I happen to sit next to her in cabinet too, so I know about her. She's strong. And when she comes asking for things for you, she's very, very firm and serious about it, so you're all in good hands. You think she's looking like she's small there? She's not a joke at all in cabinet, No, serious lady. So I want you to take advantage of everything that's coming. The PM will speak about the manufacturers and all what you want to do just now. Again, that's funds available for you. Okay? Now, as we continue to move, the CBI funds will put it back at you, because our approach is people-centered development right now. We have done a lot of work with the roads. We're getting some blues from the climate change and the storms and whatnot. We can't stop it. This is a beautiful place, Dominica, but the beauty is the challenge. So we have to just continue working at it. I heard your PAL rep speak about all the roads you have here and the damages, and you have a pretty steep terrain sometimes, so it's going to run, the water is going to flow fast. It will wash away roads. But your government is here and will continue to work with you to fix you up, because we have no place to call home but Dominica, and we love it. All right? We love it. All right. Now, something that we are doing as well too, and while I was there looking at the crowd, I saw the ladies with their kids. I'm sorry, I have a very soft heart for children. Because I believe we should protect them, because that's the future. And I want to make sure that our kids are here and I don't want them to struggle, man. You know why? It's not their fault. We have them here, they're beautiful and they're looking nice. Let's protect them, and I urge the fathers to help the mothers to raise the children as well too. We're having what you call a pilot project very soon, as you heard in the last budget, the present period that we're in terms of this fiscal period, where we want to establish a national health insurance program. We cannot start around the whole of Dominica yet, but we want to set a pilot up where we can look. And it wasn't for this government, the Dominica Labour Party. This is why, that's just some of my concerns, The Dominica Labour Party is here now. And I'm happy that you support us and we're there, and with you we're going to stay. But one day we must die, All of us, because we want to go to heaven as well too. And we must die. However, while we are here still, we have to make sure we understand the importance of this government and what it has done for health care. In terms of the new hospital coming, but again, more and more challenges. We have been confronted with challenges, health challenges. If it wasn't for this government and a soft heart of your Prime Minister, a lot of us would have died already. And the reason why I say that, this is true, Some people stay at home and they, because of pride, you have a problem. The problem might cost you about 5,000, 7,000, 8,000 one time. You have no health insurance, especially coming from the farming communities. No health insurance. But this government will not let you die. Will not let you die. And what I'm bringing up this point to say to you that we have to make sure we understand the importance of this government. We have assisted every single body that we can assist. If you have a challenge, we'll help you. I'm very sure of that. And what we are doing right now, we are introducing this pilot program in terms of a national health insurance. We're looking at a particular area first. We're going to let it start to work, fine-tune itself, and the aim of it now is to bring it throughout Dominica where we can have our own national health insurance. And that is critical for us, especially our single mothers, our mothers raising their children. You're very important for us. But generally, everybody is important to us. So people understand what your government is doing for you. It's very important. Now, we spoke about, I want to just touch a little bit on other growth areas in terms of contribution. You'll hear the criticism of the opposition saying that we're only speaking about CBI. That's not so. We're only speaking about CBI and making you understand CBI because this is where they're focusing. They're trying to go after that one. You'll hear them for a little short of agriculture sometimes. This is the government. I was the Minister of Agriculture at my first term. I know what we did for agriculture. I know the investment. I worked in the agricultural ministry for my whole life. That's where I worked. Nobody can tell me about agriculture. Under the ULP, I happened to be working there. They came out with a gimmick where they try to fool young people. Want to just come and give all our young people cutlass to go and just cut. No, that's not what agriculture we're talking about. We are talking a sort of an improved type of agriculture, looking at adding value, taking our young people back into the labs right now and letting that production aspect drive production. I'm a farmer, the Prime Minister is a farmer, a lot of you are farmers. I plant every day. You heard me talking a little secret a while ago. You know what we're talking about? I said to him, Chief, I have some plants, too many for me. So we decided I'm going to share the plants. We are planting actively. This is a true story. We are planting actively. So I want to say to you, agriculture is contributing a lot to the economy. Don't make nobody fool you. The boats are going out there. Hopefully, the minister is here. I'll talk about his pack houses, whatnot. He has a great program running in terms of the measure of what's living Dominica. And agriculture is contributing. Tourism is contributing. What we want to beef up right now, because we had some problems some time ago with the global challenge, when Erica came in here and it struck the DCP, it threw it down completely. So we lost a lot of jobs there, and it dropped our manufacturing a bit. But the Prime Minister will announce some of his plans tonight in terms of how he plans to bring it back. And that's an area we go. Once we can catch that area, you see the various sectors contributing to the economy in Dominica, and not just the CBI. But the CBI is important. It's what's working now. There's a little window. We have to take advantage of the window, and we are using this money targeting it into special growth areas where we can keep this country at a level where it can be sustainable. We understand that? Lovely. But my people, last time I spoke a little too long. I'm not going to do it tonight, No, I spoke a little too long. Sometimes when you get fired up, you speak long. But what I want to say to you now, in terms of the opposition strategy, I'll end on this one here. You notice that these fellows are targeting the CBI program. They're targeting unrest. They use 1979. Most of you are old enough to understand what happened in 1979. Totally different to what's happening here right now. Nothing to do, there's no coup. It was purely at the time when PJ was, got a little strong, swell-headed, and he had this trying to hush people from talking, newspaper pressure, and the whole private sector and the public sector went against him. Took no confidence, strike, he was gone. They're trying to use that May 29 thing, and that didn't work. They tried to burn Rosa recently, and they got innocent young fellas under their liquor and whatnot to light fire in Roseau, and they ran away from these fellas. Right now, they're trying to look at public officers, people who work for government, and some of the other areas, try to shut down the country. That's not going to work either. Not going to work. And then what you'll see, they'll come with a new tactics just so they try to hit agriculture again and hit where the aim is trying to destabilize this country. So anything they come with, just understand that it is a ploy, it's a plan, and we are not going to let it work. We have money in this country to run this country. Now is not the time to bring that up. The country is not a broke country. The country has funds. We're taking care of all your social safety nets. Your Yes Week here, your NEP, the minister here can tell you more, but your small business, your minister, we have a lot going for us. So let's take advantage of the opportunities. Let's continue to embrace the CBI. Let's look at all our projects and the opportunities that are going to come for you. And let's take Dominica together with this team you have here and your strong pal rep to that next level. Important for us. And with these few words, I want to say, we'll only leave government when you have said to us that you had enough of us and we can exit. Oh, you're not agreeing for that? Okay, well, on this note, I'll end here because you want us still, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc, and I must say you're listening and responding. A very good audience. My constituents, but I also see a few persons come from far to support. I want to thank them. I see Martin there and his friend. I saw Paul Barron all the way from Atkinson, and I want to welcome my two other colleagues who joined us, Honorable Douglas and Honorable Cassius Daru. Put your hands together for all these people. And I think I still have very good eyesight. I see Mano by the door there as well. So there are a few people who have come to really support us, and we are grateful. And Honorable Ian is here. He is our neighboring pal rep, my neighbor. We're very joined because we share the community of Dodan, one village council, Paix Bouche Dodan village council. So I'm happy to invite Honorable Douglas just to say a few words to you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Rosalind Paul, Parliamentary Representative for the Paix Bouche constituency and Minister for Small Business, Commerce and Enterprise Development, Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, Honorable Dr. Colin McIntyre, Honorable Justina Charles, Honorable Cassius Daru, other distinguished guests in our midst, people of Paix Bouche, and let me include Dodan. Good evening. Good evening. That's better. Good evening. It is always a pleasure for me to speak in Paix Bouche. I love this place, and I convert automatically from a minister back to a politician, and I will tell you unequivocally, I love to be among Laborites, period. That is it. That is why I love to be here. And I want to tell you that myself and Honorable Cassius Daru, we just came from Biosh. We had to go and give Honorable Catherine Daniel some support because she's just launched a great program up there where some young people in her community, with her help and the help of the Prime Minister, organized them with some fisheries, a fisheries enterprise. And they built their own building. They have some refrigeration facilities. They get their fish, they clean the fish, and they package it well, nicely, professionally packaged. And that is what the Dominica Labour Party is all about, empowering people. And it makes me go back to Edward Oliver LeBlanc, our great leader. And that is where we get our enthusiasm from. And that is why we will never abandon the Dominican people. We will never abandon you. No matter how much pressure, how much rumors, how much tricks and dirty politics they come with, we will stand strong to continue the work that our great leaders have begun for you, the people. That is why we are here. And so when they come and they tell you about citizenship by investment program, I want you to know that that is not something that Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit got up in his bed one Friday morning like a crazy person and just decided to implement, you know, brothers and sisters. This is a program when the United Kingdom, England, started putting pressure on us, the big companies, Dole, Chiquita, and Del Monte for bananas. And they said that we could not enjoy preferential treatment anymore. We had to go in and compete on the British market. We lost our preferential treatment, and bananas were under pressure. We were not generating the revenue we used to from bananas. So the Prime Minister of the country then, in 1983, Honorable Eugenia Charles, Dame Eugenia Charles of blessed memory, devised the Economic Citizenship Program then. That is when that program started in 1983. And at the time, when United Workers' Party was just formed, they were formed in 1988. And they started rallying against the program. Remember when she was trying to do the Layo River Hotel, they were saying, Ching Chong, go home. That is the same United Workers' Party. But when they came to power and they recognized the reality of the thing, of the state of the economy, they decided that they re-engineered the program. After they said they would scrap it, they re-engineered it. So that has always been the tactics of United Workers' Party. They don't have no problems with the program. In fact, the leader of the opposition, Lennox Linton, brought in secret, in back door, he went up the financial center and was asking the Prime Minister to make certain foreign people agents of the program. We have to understand that that is a program that is in a number of different countries around the world, brothers and sisters. St. Kitts have a program. St. Lucia just decided they want to start a program. Antigua has a program right now. And many countries around the world. England has a program. The United States of America have a program, a citizenship program called the EB5 program, where if you invest, I believe it's $500,000 US, you are entitled to citizenship of the United States. So it's not something new, brothers and sisters. This program, when this Prime Minister you see sitting down here came to power, he tightened up the program to make it stronger, brothers and sisters. And we have a due diligence process in place. Due diligence is a big word, but break it down. It's like you have CID in Dominica. For you to get a visa, you have to go for a police record by CID. Everybody know that? And we have internationally recognized firms around the world. Any applicant who applies, like Dr. Mack told you, a due diligence report, an investigation is done on them from the time they were born. What school they went to, what family they have, who they got married to, what businesses they have, every single thing. And that is not the client that pays for that, you know. That is the client, sorry, not the government that pays for that due diligence, but to say it's the government that's sending somebody and do something, so the person working in the government favor, you know. The client, the applicant pays for that report. And you have about 5 internationally recognized firms. And when they do the report, they seal the package and they do not give it to the applicant. They send it directly back to people like Mr. Nanton and them who run the Citizenship by Investment Office. And when they get that, there is a committee, the Attorney General, the Commissioner of Police, certain serious people that sit on a committee. When they open that envelope, any adverse report or for any reason at all that shows up on these people, they are denied automatically. And even if they receive their application is successful and they are granted citizenship, the government under the law, if anything shows up, can revoke the citizenship. And Edison James knows that. Lennox Linton knows that. So it's not the program they're against. They are against the success that this government is enjoying right now, brothers and sisters. That is what they're against. Because they recognize that if we continue to succeed the way we are doing right now, and the approval rating of Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister, continues to improve, there is no way that they can see the halls of the financial center and power in this country. Let us get that clear, that is all the talk you're hearing about. And to even go as far as destroying people's private businesses, people that work hard, go in the bank, take their little loan, make their sacrifice to have their business. You went to the police and you agreed to stop your demonstration or whatever you call it at 3 o'clock. But all of us just enjoy Carnival. We went down to Portsmouth, we had Carnival. The police tell us Carnival stop at 10 o'clock. We behave ourselves. 10 o'clock come, the police come on the road. We go in our transport and we go back to our home. We finish with that, we obey the law. You stand up on the platform, although you go and speak at 2 to 3. At 3 o'clock you say nobody can stop you. You breaking the law in the open and you don't want nobody to investigate you. Police must come and look for you. But I cannot understand that. That is the kind of person that want to be prime minister of the country, brothers and sisters. That's the kind of person that want to be prime minister of Dominica. So that is what they after. And they are working. Let me tell you this thing. This citizenship by investment program is a serious source of revenue that we have available to do the work of the people. To do the work of the people. To do your washroom facilities. Can you imagine an old lady, an old man, 75, 80 years old, have a latrine outside. You have to open your door and go outside. We have a patois word for it, but I don't know if it's camera or if I can say it on the platform. But a loose ball will take you at 2 o'clock in the night. Rain falling. You have to go outside, open your door, go outside in a little track to go in your latrine. Penis and cockroach and Santa be biting you. The Prime Minister in his wisdom come up with a program to put a little washroom facility. And these men are against that, brothers and sisters. They are against that, and these are the guys who are telling you that you must support that you must vote for them, brothers and sisters. I mean, this is the reality. That is what we are dealing with. People who have worked, men who drive truck to go when we couldn't go from Portsmouth to Roseau via the West Coast before Edward Oliver Libla built the West Coast. We had to do day wash. We had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. People that had their little bakery, baking their little bread. People that go garden to feed us. But because they didn't work for government, they don't have no pension. They don't have no social security. But the Prime Minister feels that these people contributed to society. So you want to give them a little $300 a month, brothers and sisters, to buy their little groceries, to pay their little mapping, to have their little radio to listen to Experience Koyol. You want to deny a 70-year-old $300? And that is what we are able to do because of the funds from the citizenship by investment program, brothers and sisters. That is what we have been able to do. And that is what we will continue to do for you as long as you place your trust. And I am speaking to the converted in Paix Bouche. I'm speaking to the converted. We in Lent, and we are all converted in Paix Bouche. Paix Bouche is like Portsmouth, so when I come here, I feel comfortable. But it is important for us to let Dominica know that our very livelihood is being threatened by the maliciousness of those guys. It is not just about, we want to educate you and we want to give you the facts, brothers and sisters. But you must understand the strategy of those guys. They want to undermine the work of this government. So we become, our hands are tied. Our mouth is nuzzled. We can't talk. We cannot speak. We don't have money to work on your behalf so that when election time comes, they can say that we do nothing and they will kick us out of government. That is what they want to do. They want to burn down the house, brothers and sisters, to get the property. So you have your brothers and sisters, your father died, he leave a piece of lot and a house for your brother. You so vex you want the house. You are prepared to burn down the house to get the property. So when you mash up Dominica, you mash up people's property, you take us out of office. What are you going to get? You're going to get a devastated country and economy for us to start from scratch again. Look at Tropical Storm Erica. We have been able to, God bless this country, we have been able to, less than 2 years after the Tropical Storm Erica, to completely rehabilitate the people of the Petit Savan and those other areas. People are actually living in houses built by this government. We have to build infrastructure. We have to build other new services and facilities. Able to do that because we have the citizenship by investment revenue coming in there, brothers and sisters, for us to continue to help you. That is what we are doing. So, and it's big business. These men have some international conspirators working for and working with them. You must understand that people want to put their hands on the program. So there's other big companies working in other countries. You must have heard the name like Henley and Partners. That since election 2009 have been trying to undermine this government to put United Workers' Party back in power so that they can get the program, because Edison James promised them that if he comes to power, he will hand over the program carte blanche to them. That is what it is all about. And we have to know that, brothers and sisters. A great farming community like Paix Bouche. Look at what we have now. Dr. Mack told you. We have the packing houses that we have established in Portsmouth and in Roseau. And right now, the hucksters and the other people that ship in fresh produce out of Dominica are calling for produce like crazy, brothers and sisters. Yam, dashing, plantain. I mean, they're calling for produce. And I want to tell you, the farmers of this community, that now is the time. Go back into your field. Everything you're planting, from cucumber, go all the way back to plantain and dashing and whatever. We can take it from you. There is money in agriculture, Dr. Mack told you. And because of the CIP funds, we have placed $10 million in the aid bank. You can walk into the aid bank now at the lowest interest rate in the region. Nowhere else you can go to in the Caribbean and get money for 3% interest. Not even in the credit union. You can get money at 3% interest. And you have 6 months to plant your stuff and grow what you're growing before you start to pay back. That is what this government is doing. And I don't have to talk about NEP, because we in this community, we know the value of the National Employment Program. People that would be at their home sitting down, don't know what they would do. Women that have children, Dr. Mack told you. But the government has come up with a program, has formulated a program, and have put in the region of 1,600 young people who would have otherwise have been at home working, and at the end of the month expect a salary in their pocket. And don't worry if what they say about NEPs and election gimmick. Election passed so long. Election was since 2014, and the program is growing from strength to strength, and this program is here to stay, brothers and sisters. I cannot speak on behalf of the Prime Minister because he's here, but I go and take the chance and tell you that as long as this Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of Dominica, the National Employment Program will continue, brothers and sisters. I can tell you that. And I want to tell the people of Dodan that we had a meeting in Dodan and we took down all of your concerns, and we have discussed it. The Prime Minister has the list, and right now we're putting together all of the estimates right now. And every single concern that was addressed in Dodan will in fact be taken care of. And I want to make you know that the health center is the first one. The health center, because the health center serves the people of Paix Bouche too. We are one family. Serves the people of Paix Bouche too. So that is why the health center will be completely refurbished to make sure that that health center can also not only serve the people of Dodan, but also the people of Paix Bouche will be properly served by this. So brothers and sisters, we are here to just reassure you that all is well. Every day they're coming up with a new thing. The latest thing they say is that the Prime Minister is going to resign. That is the latest thing in the air. But for what? What the Prime Minister have to resign for? The Prime Minister has been the Prime Minister of this country for the last maybe 10 or what? 12 years. He is the most senior Prime Minister in the region right now. Men who are twice and 3 times his age are calling him now for advice. Comrade, how did you do this? Comrade, how you do that? Comrade, how you do that? How you do that? So every time we have something good in Dominica, it's Malay we have like that, we have to throw it away then, brothers and sisters. Every time we have something good in Dominica, we have to do something to lose it. Well, not this time. This time, we are standing firm with our government. We are standing firm with the Dominica Labour Party and the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit-led government, brothers and sisters. I want you to know that you have a solid pal rep, like my other colleagues have told you. Solid pal rep. Great representation. One thing that rings in my mind, not even in my constituency, but I hear so much about this Olivier Road. I don't even know where Olivier is. I can tell you about Olivier. That is so much I hear about it. So I can tell you that Honorable Rosalind Paul is giving you solid representation. Honorable Roosevelt, Prime Minister of Dominica, is giving us solid direction, brothers and sisters, and we have a great future ahead of us. Let nobody turn or distract us. Let us stay focused. Let us stay committed. Dominica is ours to build. I don't know about other people, but some of us have nowhere to go. We cannot go to the States. We can't go to England. It's here we have to stay to raise our children and get a living. We have a team at the helm that is taking us to what we have dreamed of for so long. Let us stand firm, brothers and sisters. I thank you very much and continue the great work. Thank you.
As usual, an exciting presenter. Thank you, Honorable Douglas. And we will continue, and I think it's a moment that most people have been waiting for. So put your hands together. And welcome the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me first of all, on behalf of the government and people of Dominica, extend our solidarity with the government and people of the United Kingdom on the senseless act against the British people which took place today, and to extend our sympathies and prayers to the families of those whose lives were taken away from them. Dominica stands presence of terrorism. It is creating a very uncertain and unstable world for all of us, and all of us will suffer the consequences of that. So we stand in absolute solidarity with the government of the United Kingdom this evening as they mourn the tragic loss of lives in that beautiful country. I also want to say to you that it is always my pleasure to be here in Paix Bouche. Paix Bouche is a community of hardworking people, very hospitable people, and a village that is infused with culture and a genuine pride for nation building and community spirit. And I want to confess to you that Paix Bouche has always been a community I would have liked to represent in Parliament as a Member of Parliament. But you have in the person of Rosalind Paul a wonderful pal rep. So I want to recognize the presence of my colleagues who are here with us, Nurse Charles, Dr. Mark, Honorable Douglas, Honorable Cassius Daru, and our very committed, dedicated, and hardworking pal rep, Honorable Rosalind Paul. I will say to you, as I say all of the time, I have the greatest love and appreciation and admiration for Rosalind Paul and a commitment to people, and a love for people, and a genuine concern for people. And that is what characterizes the Dominica Labour Party. It is a party that is concerned about the welfare and well-being of everyone in our society. I also want to a lady, when I dance quadrille and vilanto and polka and so forth, and we would go to competitions across Dominica, I always look forward to seeing the performances of Rebellion Walter. And what I always remember of her is this tall, elegant person, gracing the stage with a sense of pride and deep love for our culture. So even today, though it has been so long ago, I still remember walking onto the stage, and as a little boy standing in front of the stage looking at her with great admiration. I'm going to say thank you for being here this evening. As you know, as has been said before, we have started a series of town hall meetings across Dominica. And we will go to every village in Dominica. Because as the leader of the party and the Prime Minister of this country, I believe it is important that PAL reps stay very close to their people. And that PAL reps give the people whom they represent a report on what they're doing for them and with them. And to hear from you as to what are your added dreams and aspirations and what we can do together to make life better for you and your community and our country. So your PAL rep will be going to every village in her constituency. So this month, last month was Paix Bouche. This month is Paix Bouche. The next month is Ans de May. And she will go to Benz, and she will go to, and will come back to Paix Bouche when your turn comes back. So you will be seeing her and you will be seeing us several times during the year where you can interact and you hear from us and we hear from you. A lot has been said. A lot has been said this evening. And everyone who spoke gave you a very comprehensive account of what the government has been doing for you and for your well-being, and what we will continue to do as we work together to advance this country's development. I want to speak to you about a few points this evening, one of which is health and healthcare in Dominica. I believe that a country must place emphasis on the health of its citizens, because health is critically important for everyone, and it impacts every single family in our country. And as the years go by, healthcare is becoming more expensive. And we must ensure that, notwithstanding the fact that healthcare is becoming more expensive, that those among us in our society who may not have the means of accessing this healthcare, the state must assist to ensure that these people get the healthcare. And you see, there's a big debate going on in the United States of America today on healthcare, because healthcare is so important to all of us. So as you know, we have started the construction of the new National Hospital, because you need to have optimal facilities at a high level to provide. And one of our missions and goals of investing in this new hospital is to minimize the need for us Dominicans to go out of Dominica to fetch medical services and medical care. And the first phase of this new national hospital will be ready, by the grace of God, in August of 2017. And in this you will have the theater and the labs and many other services which they provided the hospital. And we want to thank profusely the government of the People's Republic of China for this most generous gift which they have given to us, this new national hospital. And I am saying to you here in Paix Bouche that when we hear opposition elements in this country criticizing the Chinese and attacking the Chinese and the Chinese government and the Chinese people, we must stand in condemnation of this thing. Because for me and for many of us, gratitude is an important element of life. The same way the Lord loves a gracious giver, the Lord also loves somebody who shows gratitude. And we must always show gratitude to the Chinese government for the tremendous assistance and support which they have given to us over the last 13 years since we established relations with the People's Republic of China. Because I can tell you, as the Prime Minister of this country, I can always rely on the Chinese government and the Chinese people to assist us when a need arises. So we're very grateful to them for this new national hospital. And notwithstanding the fact that some in our society, in our country, said this hospital will never come. Even today, when we have built the stadium and we build this and we build that, they're still asking for the MOU. But we have not acted. We continue to remain focused on our leadership responsibilities. Dr. Mack made reference to the pilot National Health Insurance Program, where this government has set aside to invest $5 million into this program, to start this program. $5 million is not a little bit of money. And we have been able to put these funds into the pilot health program, which we launched on April the 3rd of this year. So this program will be launched in the next few days. And it will benefit a wide cross-section of our country, particularly women with children and women who are expecting children. Because sometimes a lady is pregnant and she has to undergo so many tests during that 9 months. And every test that you do costs money. Every doctor's visit costs money. And for many expecting mothers in our country, it becomes prohibitive, meaning they cannot afford it because of the frequency of the need for them to go. But that pilot program will not only be to cover the medical expenses here in Dominica, it is making provision to fund your medical care if you have to travel overseas. And that will be covered by this pilot National Health Insurance Program. And the hope is to learn and to gain experience from this pilot with a view to having a national health insurance scheme. And to undermine, we are doing the hard work that's required to advance this country's development. And of course, we continue to train doctors, not only with the first degrees, but with the postgraduate studies. We have several doctors that we have sent and who are back with postgraduate degrees in medicine, various fields of specialization. And there are currently several young Dominicans at various universities, particularly in the Republic of Cuba, undergoing training in postgraduate studies and specializing in various disciplines within the health system. With regards to the West Coast Road, as you know, the West Coast Road was destroyed by Tropical Storm Erica, a road which was recently reconstructed. Now we have to spend a lot of money to rebuild it. And thank God again, the Chinese government decided that it will help us in reconstructing the West Coast Road. And I can say to you this evening that the Chinese government has in fact awarded the contract for this West Coast Road. And the contracting firm is here in Dominica, preparing the administrative arrangements to come in very soon of the West Coast Road to include by Tropical Storm Erica. Now you can understand, if we had to do this on our own, the mighty cost of this West Coast Road, it will cost you, the taxpayers of Dominica. So again, we have to say thank you to the government and people of China for this generous gift. And regards to our road from Portsmouth to Hatton Garden, very soon we will issue a contract to a firm to redesign that road for us, with a view to having that road completely rehabilitated, including the creation of 2-lane bridges on this entire roadway. So that is a project, and had it not been for Tropical Storm Erica, I could tell you we could have started this road this year. But with Erica, we had to push back some of our priorities. But rest assured, this road will be completely rehabilitated. Your parliament spoke about your water system here in Paix Bouche. And there is a serious challenge of your water system. And the report and advice from DOASCO indicates that it could do some temporary remedial works immediately that will cost $98,000. But to reconstruct the water system, including a new tank for Paix Bouche, will cost $1.2 million. And I have said, we have said to DOASCO, you should go ahead and start the designs for this project so that we can move quickly to reconstruct the entire water system for Paix Bouche. And the estimated cost for this project will be around $1.2 million. So we will do, in the first instance, some remedial works and then move to the complete reconstruction of your water system here in Paix Bouche. Regards to agriculture, and I keep saying across the country, and every time I have the opportunity to speak to this country, that while we will have tourism, and must remain, because we must be able to feed ourselves, and be able to export to other countries around the world. And I can tell you, based on my own little experiences, that there is a way of life in agriculture. You can make a living out of agriculture. You can make life better for yourself in agriculture. But we must invest the time in agriculture. We can't go on the farm for 2 hours and come back. We have to invest the time in agriculture. Because the markets are there for almost, as a matter of fact, the markets are there for anything you grow in this country. And out there for it. The challenge we have sometimes in Dominica is that we are unable to consistently supply the market demands. So yes, in 1 week we can supply all of it, but next week we'll have a shortage of our ability to supply it. And what we're doing in the government system is to facilitate further investments on the farms in Dominica by the provision of inputs, free inputs sometimes, and highly subsidized inputs to farmers. And we recognize that sometimes farmers, the challenge that farmers have is that they do not have working capital. Monies to pay the farm laborers right away, or at the end of the week, or at the end of the fortnight. Monies to be able to pay for inputs when they need it. You understand? Those of us who work, we have access to other means of something. We have to take our monies from our salaries to pay the farmers, the farm laborers. But there are people who depend on agriculture solely who at the time may not have access to the monies to pay the farm laborers. And what we have done is that we have set aside $10 million. Now, $10 million is not $10,000. It is $10 million to be invested in agriculture. And recognizing that many farmers in Dominica are either working on somebody's land, or in some cases, the land which belongs to them, they do not have a title for it. So we've made provisions for them so that they do not need a title as a security to gain access to these loans. So any farmer who wants from $1,000 to $15,000 from this loan facility, you do not require any form of security. All you have to show is where you have the thing planted or where you intend to plant and who you're selling to or who you intend to sell to, and you will get the monies. So I am urging you, I do not want you to go and take no big loan for agriculture. Take what you really need and invest it on the farm and let it build for you and grow for you and give you a big return. Because it is a major help. Plus, with the construction of the feeder roads, making access to the farms better for you, we have no real excuses now not to be spending more time and investing more on the farms. Because agriculture has money, and it is an opportunity for us to create employment for ourselves and for many of our fellow villagers. So I'm urging you, my dear brothers and sisters, to go to the aid bank. And you know, sometimes these banks and these week and so forth. If you people are having this problem with the bank, tell you come this week, come tomorrow, come thing, let me know. Let me know. Let me know so I can deal with the bank. And the chairman is there. He's the chairman. So yes, let me see you. That's the chairman. All right. So I hope the chairman is writing down this thing. And if he doesn't have a pen and paper, I'll give him a pen and paper to write it so he can remember it. So I want you to take advantage of the loans. Use it. Create jobs for yourselves. Make money for yourself and your families to build your homes and take care of your families. I'm urging you, my dear brothers and sisters, it is money for you to invest in your farms. And it is at 3% interest rates. And 6 months grace period, which means that for 6 months you won't have to pay 1 cent back on the interest or the principal. Unlike other institutions, the moment you sign, you'll start paying right away. And so with 6 months grace period, there are a number of crops you can harvest in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks, in 5 weeks, in 7. You can make a lot of money in agriculture in 6 months before you start paying back. So you can make plenty money on this loan that you'll have taken, even to be in a position to pay back the full amount in 6 months before you start paying and so forth. So I'm urging you to take advantage of this opportunity. In regards to tourism, you know, we have a hotelier here, Mr. Williams, and I have the greatest admiration and respect for Mr. Williams for the massive investment that he has made in Asolda, Atlantic Resort. You know, creating jobs and opportunities for so many of us in the north of Dominica. So we need to support this hotel. All of us need to support this hotel. So when we have relatives coming in and they're coming in enough, let them book their rooms at the Atlantic Resort so that more people can come into the hotel and more money can be made and more jobs created for all of us here in the north. But we also have the Range and the Kepinski 5-star resort under construction. And there are many people, there's some people in this country who would have liked for this hotel not to have started. But the hotel is under construction, and I have seen some of you from Paix Bouche working there and benefiting from this directly. We also have the Moroccan Hotel. And we have addressed all of the issues relating to the stoppage of the Moroccan Hotel. And people will be employed on this hotel. You also have the Silver Beach, which will start later this year. So you're going to have so many hotel rooms under construction in enough of Dominica. And all of us here from Paix Bouche will stand to benefit from these hotel rooms being constructed down in Portsmouth. Not only will we benefit from construction jobs, but when the hotel is completed, direct jobs, indirect jobs, farmers, brothers and sisters, for this day when these hotel rooms will become completed and will all be benefiting, and we'll have, in the first time in the history of Dominica, a 5-star international. And these things have been as a result of, one, our diplomatic relations with Morocco, a gift from the Moroccan government, and the other projects as a result of the CBI, the Citizenship by Investment Program. And you know, I never speak about things, and I never make promises that I cannot keep. If I make a promise to somebody, it may take some time to come, but I will fulfill that promise. And I give you the assurances, my dear brothers and sisters in Paix Bouche, that Dominica will have an international airport of its own. We will have an international airport of our own, because if we're going to be investing so heavily in these hotel rooms, we must ensure that we improve air access into our country and place our country in a better position to take advantage of the many billions of tourist dollars circulating around the world. And on the 21st of April, God willing, the firm which we have engaged to advise us on the international airport and I am satisfied that the good Lord will help us raise the monies to build this airport for our people in Dominica. And you know, the people on the other side were talking about international airport. They said they want to do it themselves too. But the moment they hear Skerrit mention about international airport, then their question is, where are you going to get the money from? But I want to ask them, where were they going to get the money from to build it? You understand? But we will build this airport for people in Dominica. Regards to manufacturing, as you know, as a result of Tropical Storm Erica, Colgate-Palmolive took a decision to close down DCP. And within a couple of days of the decision taken by Colgate-Palmolive, I wrote a letter to them. And I said the government of Dominica will buy DCP from you. And we had great intentions to buy, serious intentions to buy it back and recommence the manufacturing of soaps in Dominica. But a local business person approached me and said, look, I am prepared to buy it myself. And we gave him priority because the truth is, I prefer it to be in the private sector rather than government owning it. And we are partnering with this local person to buy Colgate-Palmolive, and he has concluded the negotiations with Colgate-Palmolive to take over DCP. And with the use of the CBI serious manner, in a manner which will help create jobs, sustain the economy, expand the economy, improve on our trade deficit and trade balances, bring in foreign exchange. We're using the CBI funds to invest so it can bring returns back to us. And we'll be giving that investor in Dominica a loan of $2 million US to buy Colgate-Palmolive. And I met with him yesterday. And he says to me, from the moment they take over, they can recommence the manufacturing of soaps within 6 months. So we may very well see the recommencement of manufacturing activities at DCP before the end of 2017. So we're not afraid of challenges, my dear brothers and sisters. When this government is faced with challenges, we stand firm and we take on the challenges and we bring hope to our people in our country. So we don't go crying in the dark and saying, see what Erica do for us. Erica brought challenges to us, but we have stood up as leaders in this country and take charge of the situation. And today, people are in the hope. 81 homes which will be building in Belville-Chopin for the people of Petit Savan, ladies and gentlemen. That's what this government is doing for the people of Dominica. So with regards to manufacturing, we will also be providing a special loan facility to the rest of the manufacturing community in Dominica. Similar terms to what we have for agriculture and tourism, to ensure that the existing manufacturers in Dominica and those who would like to get into manufacturing can have access to cheaper funding to improve on their plans. Sell more, it means that you can create more jobs in the economy. And that's what this government is about, creating jobs for the people of our country and ensuring that every man and woman and who's prepared to work in Dominica, there is a job that you can call to. And that's what we're doing. Governments world over will never be able to employ everybody, as our dear nurse child said. Because including the United States, there are people who are unemployed with PhDs. The point is, we will be unrelenting in that pursuit to ensure we can create more jobs. Hundreds of Dominicans have benefited from this establishment of the small business unit, either to sustain the existing businesses or to create new businesses. And what we are doing now is to decentralize this small business unit support and providing the funds for the village councils to reach more of you in a shorter period of time. As we did, we've spent $400,000 between Paix Bouche and Jordan in the last few weeks. So $400,000 have been walking the streets of Paix Bouche and Jordan in the last few weeks, creating jobs for you here, sustaining your businesses. $400,000 from the government of Dominica. And we'll continue to provide that support to you, my dear brothers and sisters. In housing and sanitation. You know, I was in Granville last night and I spoke there, and I said to the people there, and I said to you here in Paix Bouche, and every time I meet people and I speak to them in small groups or one-on-one, I say to them, you know, you must never grudge a poor person when he or she receives assistance. And I'll tell you very clearly, my friends, I'm not building homes for people, or I'm not building washrooms for people to vote for me. You don't. I am doing this because I believe that I have a Christian duty to help the less fortunate in our country. And whether you vote for me or not, that won't change the way I see it. This is why we are giving everybody in Dominica, irrespective of who you support, a washroom in Dominica. Because we have to help the poor. You know, so let people understand very clearly that when you think you're attacking me and the government for helping poor people, for assisting people, the needy of this country. Rest assured, you're not attacking me. I say to people, I'm only a vessel being used by he who has sent me. So you're not attacking me. You understand? But I always warn people, you must not grudge the poor people who are benefiting from this. You know, and what really gets me pissed off and upset sometimes with people is that so many people who criticize poor people forget. Because they themselves would have gotten support from the government for something or the other. But because now they may be somewhere in society, they forget who they were. So they sit on the mountaintop and they criticize and they look down on people. But, you know, this is why I always try to behave in this office of Prime Minister in a very humble manner. You know, and I always say to my colleagues that we must always be humble in our way we deal with people. Because we have no reason to think that we are bigger than people or we are more than people. We are all equal people, my dear friends. We may just have a title called Prime Minister, but we are all human beings. And we must treat people with respect at all the times. And that's how I go about running the office of Prime Minister of this country. So we'll continue on the housing revolution, building homes for the less fortunate, eradicating pit latrines in Dominica. So when your father came to me and said, look, there's some 13 people in Paix Bouche who really at me, who are really in a terrible housing situation, I had no hesitation in approving the funds for these 13 families. And I'm hoping that we can start very soon so the people can be in their homes as soon as possible. And to the contractors, you know, do a nice job for the people. You know, do a nice job for the people. But these things cost money, you know. It costs money. And let me tell you, because oftentimes people say that's government job. And the simple question I ask them, then if it's government responsibility to do this and to do that, you know, and I too went to PSS, and you go to school in the morning, and then the one bus or van goes to Rosa to carry tourists, and you have to walk. I walked from PSS to walk under the rain, you know, and when you get to a position in life where you have to also reflect on your own life and ensure that the struggles you went through, others should not go through it. But what I'm saying to the young people in our country is that you must show appreciation for it. That when the government dig back to the community and help the community. Must come back and help the communities and show gratitude, show thanks. You know, do not only engage yourself in criticizing. Let's help bring your skills and talents to the benefit of the community and the country. Because these programs, the washroom program, the housing revolution, the school transfer grant, the allowance for 70 and over, the transportation of our students to school, the Yes3K program, the National Empowerment Program, all of these programs and the many other programs, including the monies of $10 million at the Aid Bank for farmers and $15 million for tourism-related projects. All of these are policies of the government. which means that these are not laws. We have no obligation to do them. We are doing them because this is a compassionate government, a government that cares and understands people and are putting policies in place. So any government can come in and change them overnight. Because these are not obligations. Government must pay salaries because salaries is a... The government must educate children 16 and younger. This is a legal obligation. But nothing in the law says transportation for children, or books for children, or uniform. We recognize the burden sometimes that's placed on parents. And the government is coming forward to ensure that our children can take advantage of the opportunities that we have created. Because lest we forget, when this Labour Party came into office, only 40% of children from Paix Bouche had access to PSS. 40%. And by 2005, notwithstanding the fact that we were under an IMF program, we had universal access to secondary education in Dominica, which caused every child in Paix Bouche to now have a space, to now have a space at the PSS. And I went to the college to myself, and I'm trying to remember who else from Paix Bouche was at the college together with me. And I can only remember one person from Paix Bouche who was there with me at the time. Because I was the only person, not only from Vekas in the college, but from the entire Vekas constituency. And that one person was a very good friend of mine, Kelvin John. His mother is right there tonight. Only person from Paix Bouche. Today, what we have done based on our investments in education in the state college and the creation of the state college in 2002 is that we have set the platform and the foundation to allow for 100% access to the college for every high school graduate. But when you speak to tertiary education, there is a minimum entry requirement. So any child in Dominica who gets the minimum entry requirement to go to college, there is a chair for you on a desk at the state college. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the kind of things that we're doing for you and with you to help improve your lives. No, not at all. This world is not perfect. There are still challenges. That's why we have to continue. We have to continue working hard to ensure we can create a better way of life for those families who are still facing hardship of varying kinds. And my colleagues, they all spoke about the Citizenship by Investment program. And you know, Rosie was opposition, Mike was opposition leader in Dominica. But when Rosie went overseas, Rosie went to promote Dominica. Rosie went to look for scholarships for us. Rosie would go to Africa and bring back this African outfit and have shows in Dominica. Rosie would make Rosie would come back and Rosie would bring doctors here. Dr. Mark Cook would come here and to go house to house in Paix Bouche to see people who were sick, bring medication for them. That's what we did in opposition. Bought a rubbish truck for Portsmouth. But the opposition today in Dominica, they are only bent on creating destruction in our country. Destruction, nothing positive. Nothing positive. Anytime you hear the leader of the opposition in Dominica is quoted on the news, is something negative. Nothing positive. And that is the alternative we have in Dominica, ladies and gentlemen. Understand this. United Workers' Party. Nothing serious. So you don't have to be in government to make a better way of life for people. Labour stayed in opposition for 20 years. 20 years. And we brought doctors and architects and also people in Dominica, nurses we trained, built roads, built community facilities, sponsored cricket teams, basketball teams, football teams. That's what we did in opposition. As a matter of fact, sometimes Labour did more than the government at the time in opposition. Because the Malawi children couldn't have access to scholarships back then. Labour allowed Malawi children to have access to scholarships. So we have no problem in people criticizing and asking questions. But the criticisms and the questions must be constructive. It should be to make things better, to improve things. It should not be to destroy. When we destroy Dominica, who's going to rebuild it? And understand it, my friends. We're living in a world now that is very, very uncertain. The world today is more uncertain than it was 5 or 6 years ago. You do not know what's going to happen tomorrow in the world. That is how uncertain it is. I'm not talking next year, tomorrow. Because governments the world over are now looking more at themselves and less at other countries. And I'm not blaming them because you were elected by your people to represent their interests. You understand? And it means, therefore, that we in Dominica must understand that we have to rely more and more on ourselves to do more for ourselves. And what we have, we must not seek to destroy it. We must protect it. Because people understand this, that when the roads are bad from Portsmouth to Blenheim, all of us, I'm not the one who's driving on the road, all of us drive on it. If you go to the hospital and there's no medication, all of us will suffer. Understand this? So let us understand that their attacks on this country and this government is not only the government is going to affect it, not only cabinet, all of us in Dominica will be affected by this. Because for the majority of us, Dominica is the only place we will ever call home. Only place we'll ever call home. Paix Bouche will be the only place in the world we will call home. And therefore, we have to take every action to protect it from those who are seeking to destroy it. So I give you the assurances, my dear friends from Paix Bouche, that we'll continue to work with you to improve your lives. We will not be able to do everything at once, at the same time, because everything costs money. And I don't envy the Parliament. She has a huge constituency. You know, from Calibishi all the way to Paix Bouche is a huge landmass with tremendous challenges, you know, of their own. So understand that when she gets some money, she has to try to see how she can help every village in this constituency. You know? And then when you take the country and the number of villages we have in Dominica, we have to spread this money across the country. So while the good Lord has blessed us with some resources, we do not have all the money we need to fix all the problems which you will identify in your community. But as time goes by, as we work together, we can do them one by one sometimes, or even 2 by 2 sometimes, or if we have some additional resources, sometimes 3 by 3. But you have been left with water improvement, your roads there, the Zolivier wall, the monies have been identified for this. We're just redesigning the wall, the design. Because I tell you, I'm not an engineer, but when I saw the designs, and I know Zolivier very, very well, I told the engineers that will not work. Go back and check it twice to ensure that when we build a wall that can hold up the soil and not something that will wash away. So we could have started the wall based on the design given to us, but we have sent the wall back, the design back to them to look at it a second time. And you have the housing, you have the washrooms, you just spent 400,000 for small business, and the sports. We need to improve the basketball court. So the sportsmen need to get together and advise us on what exactly you need to complete the basketball court, and to have a basketball court that can be the envy of many communities across Dominica. So we're committed to spend the monies to improve the basketball court, but as was said by the Minister of Sport, we have to take ownership of it. Ownership of it. Because there can be somebody from the Paix Bouche, just from that basketball court down there, who can make it to the NBA. And when you make it to the NBA, guess who the money is for now? You. You understand? So let us treat these things very seriously. But we're committed to working with you on a number of issues which you have. But let's work together. I want to thank you very much for listening to me and for being here this evening. And to tell you that my mind, Paix Bouche, is never away from my mind. I have great love and appreciation for the people of Paix Bouche, because you are a genuine people. And when you say that you wish somebody, you are truly with somebody. And the rest of the years I have in government, I will ensure that you get the fullest support that you require. Because as you know, I will not be there after the next election. One of them will take over as Prime Minister. But we have some time to work, and we'll work together. So God bless you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister of Dominica, a man we love very dearly and who loves us. Yet to do the question will be excited, so I want to just inform you of a few things. Tomorrow, I will be at the Resource Center from 2:30, those of you who want to talk to me on any matter. Application forms, as I said, for Boamo Park will be available. I'll leave some at the Resource Center. And there'll be a training. We're not going, you got the money, but we're not going to leave you on your own. You need the tips, you need the management skills. We want to make your business a success. So there'll be a training from the 27th to 31st, I think, by the Ministry of Commerce, targeting people of the constituency, okay? So right questions, make your looking at the number of you, we'll have to manage that very well. So we have to manage it well, so try to make your questions